Hello, 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 hello. How are you doing? Kevin here. How is life treating you? It is Thursday, which means it's the day that I talk at you for too long of an amount of time, take up a lot of your day. You probably just put this on in the background. You know, if you got the YouTube ready, you just put it on your phone, close the app, and then it's just playing. You can listen to it like it's a podcast. Or, you know, if you're not, then you can just put it on your computer when you're doing other stuff. And like, I'll just be there talking at you, hanging out. I am coming at you from the eventual video studio, which has not improved at all since the video that I made on Friday, where I kind of showcased, like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do here. I do have some stuff that's on its way. I have some bass traps that I'm going to put up in the corners of the place. I have some bookcases that are coming in. Those should be here maybe this week, otherwise maybe sometime early next week. It's hard when you're dealing with larger things because then the shipment's never like, oh, Amazon says it'll be delivered between 10 and 12 or whatever. Anyway, but I do want to, I want to start getting used to talking and standing like I used to back in my heyday of YouTubery. There we go, heyday of YouTubery. There's a good expression for you. So I've got two things that I want to talk about. First one is my weight, and actually I have notes here. There we go. Look at that. I bent down and picked something up off the floor. That's insane. All right, anyway, let me give you some context. So for those of you who have not been listening to me ramble on for a while, I've been trying to lose some weight recently. I've been trying to take better care of myself. Particularly, I've been trying to diet. I've not really been trying to exercise. My whole plan is like, hey, let's lose weight until exercising is not as painful as dentistry. And then, once we've lost the weight, then we'll go in and exercise. So I wanted to contextualize this, and one of the ways that I like to do this is I like to look at data. I'm a numbers guy. I know a lot of people are not numbers people, but man, it's nice to be able to look at stuff and be like, oh, this is cool, and blah, blah. So I went back. I was trying to think of like, what are the times before when I've tried to lose weight? How did that go? Because I started off this whole thing. Mid-July, I clocked in at 371.1 pounds. That's a lot of pounds. That's more than twice as many pounds as I should be. So it's going to take a very long time to even get to like miles. Like I don't have any miles. Like 300 is a milestone, I guess. But even then it's like, you're still enormous. Congratulations. You're just, down a certain arbitrary thing. So I was looking back at some of my previous attempts. I was thinking, oh, okay, when have I actually tried to lose weight? There have been a couple of tries. I think I tried to lose weight in high school a little bit, maybe for a few months. I was eating a little bit healthier, like my family would do, like, I don't know, would buy like healthy choice meals and try and do that. It never seemed to last for a particularly long time. It never seemed to work out pretty well for me. If I remember right, I pretty much left high school somewhere between 280 to 300 pounds. I was okay for maybe the first semester in college, and then, yeah, just let it go, can't hold back anymore. Are those the words? That was my relationship to food. Yeah, Disney's Frozen is my enabler. I don't know. But okay, so there were two times so I have no data from that point. This is just going off of memory. That's what I think I weighed at the time. Then I did try and lose weight in 2010, so 6 years ago. I was cast as the lead in White Christmas in the community theater here, which I was super excited about. I never had a leading role in anything. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I was looking at myself, I was like, I'm enormous. I got to lose some weight. And that was basically, I'm going to take a slim fast for breakfast, and then I'm going to have, God, what was it? I had like one of those soups that's like nothing. It's like one of those like 50 to 100 calorie soups that's mostly water. That's just still terrible. It's still tons of MSG and it's terrible. Like it wasn't an intelligent diet. It's like I'm just gonna heavily calorie restrict and try and do a whole bunch of push-ups and try and go running and just maybe something will happen. It did work for a little bit. After that, epilepsy struck again. I was living with my parents a little bit. I moved out to New York. health just sort of went out the window at that point. Delivery food all the time. Last year, some of you may remember if you've been watching for a while, I had this whole series where I was walking around holding this camera, this vlogging camera, and it was wobbling and making everybody nauseous. But I was trying to eat healthier. And then what I basically did, I was trying to cut down on the amount of delivery food that I was taking in, and I was trying to go for walks on a very regular basis. I was also trying to drink a lot of water and meditate and a bunch of other stuff. But that went okay. I kind of had its ups and downs. And that ended probably around October of last year. And then from then on, just gained everything back with a vengeance. Finally moved out here to the Midwest, left New York, said, hey, I'm done with you. And now I'm living here. And I kind of moved back to the idea of like, let's make this is going to be like Kevin rehab, right? Going to get mentally into a much better place. Going to try and get my YouTube and everything else to a much better place, really focus on a lot of that, and of course try and not die, try and make my body something that it can tolerate. So that's what I've been working on. In particular, I kind of started that these past maybe six weeks, kind of more seriously in the past 4 weeks. So, okay, 2010, I have numbers here because I wanted to know, like, well, how long did I try and lose weight these last times, and how well did I do, and what were the weights that I was at? And it just so happens in 2010, I was able to log on to some website and be like, oh yeah, you still got a log of the way I checked in with you, okay. So in 2010, from the beginning of November to like the end of December, I started off at 332.4 pounds. It was not great, but I'd like to be there now. And I got down to 313. So never hit below. I had thought that I maybe had hit 300, but no, I didn't. I lost in about 2 months, I lost 19.4 pounds. This was back in 2010, so 6 freaking years ago. Yeah, not amazing. 2015. Wasn't doing this whole like crazy starvation thing, like with the Slim Fast and blah, was really just I was using Soylent for some of my meals, and then I was still doing a little bit of delivery food, but I was just trying to be a bit more careful and a bit more mindful about the stuff that I was eating. I was relying on just like, hey, let's use willpower to eat a little bit healthier. And I was going for long walks and stuff, and I really miss being able to walk up and down the East River, because man, it's an amazing, if you ever live in New York, just walk up and down the East River. It's so cool, especially like 4 a.m. Anyway, so I started trying to lose weight then in March, and then went down a little bit, gained a fair bit, and then continued going down until about October. And so I started at 362.3 pounds, which at that point was the heaviest I had ever been. And then by October, I got to 333.5. So that was October of last year that I had gotten there. So that's a total loss over the course of like 6 months of 28.8 pounds. So 2010, lost 20 pounds in 2 months. 2015, lost 30 pounds in 6 months. And yeah, of course, gained it all back both times. Which brings us to July of this year when I stood on the scale and went, what? I mean, I've got like a large person scale. I'm like, I don't know, am I going to cap out? Like, is there a, I don't know. So started off this July at 371.1. That's really not good. And all these approaches, the approach, the like, hey, let's starve myself, not doing it, not working. The hey, let's just try and be mindful and exercise self-control and eat smaller portions and go for walks and just generally blah. The weight loss was slow, and I just kept going. There was a lot of very wobbly loss to knock off those 30 pounds. So the question now is, where am I today? The strategies that I've been applying, and I've talked about this before, but really it comes down to two things, and these are the only two things that have worked for me anytime I'm trying to improve myself, really, over a long period of time. There are certainly tactics where you're like, oh, I'm going to try and just get really hyped about this, and you can do it for a few weeks, you can do it for even a few months. It doesn't last long term. The things that work for me long term are, one, set arbitrary rules that you just have to do, not because you're motivated or excited about it, but just this is what you have to do. And 2, use any motivation or excess energy you have about a goal to not on the goal, but on reducing the friction for the bad days. So if you're having a really exciting day where you're like, I'm super pumped about losing weight, don't try and go out and exercise or eat less or whatever. Do what you can to make sure, to make it easier for future you to eat healthy when future you doesn't want to. It's basically, you're like pre-cooking chicken soup for your sick days. That's just the friction reducing. And particularly that's been meal prep for me. So on the weekends, I prepare the full week of meals. And then the rule is, I've already prepared the meals, just go put those in the microwave for a little bit and then eat those. I don't care what you feel like eating. I don't care if you're hungry. I don't care whatever. Just only eat those and eat those. Like, those are the rules. And then the friction is about like, let's prep some stuff up. Let's go and buy groceries early, because then cooking, Kevin will have an easier time. It's just like those 2 things. Being very stringent about rules, reducing friction. So that is what I'm doing right now. The question now, of course, is what are the results? And I wanted to bring up those older weight loss attempts to kind of contextualize this. So now we are in kind of 6 months from that peak weight and 4 months into really applying this strategy to try and get to a healthier place. So today, although I'm recording this a day early, so today I clocked in at 339.8 pounds, down from 371.1. So 6 weeks, and I am down 31.3 pounds, which is really exciting. So that is more weight loss than I've done in the previous 2 attempts that I made. It could be that I ended up losing weight back in high school, but I don't have any data because the internet wasn't as huge a thing at the time, so it wasn't like, log all your metrics. But that's pretty exciting. Of course, being just under 340 pounds is not anything to be super thrilled about, but it does mean that I'm 6 pounds away from hitting my low weight of 2015, which is great. And then it'll be another 18 pounds from there to get to that 313 that takes me all the way back to 2010, which would be great. And then 300. So now I have three more sort of waypoints that I'm looking forward to hitting and getting to, which is, it's nice. It's nice to have those waypoints. Granted, my whole thing is not like, let's try and find ways to build motivation, because this plan is motivation independent. Because I have bad days. I need to have some sort of plan that works with bad days. I can't rely on just saying, I have positive energy right now. I'm really up. I'm really excited. Let's just try and run with it, because it never lasts. That said, hey, let's use the extra. Why not? So shedding a lot of weight relatively quickly, more weight than I have done in the past, which is great. Still continuing on. Hopefully, I got to admit, I'm not feeling particularly better. Still got lots of back pain, still got knee pain and leg pain and, all of that, which is not the best. But hopefully, I'm hoping that maybe I'll start to feel/see results at 300, which granted is still months away. A healthy person, I'm a 6 foot tall guy, and really I'm supposed to weigh 180 pounds. So I've got a very long way to go. But I'm really hoping that, it's not, I could feel, it doesn't matter. I can feel enormous up until 181. That shouldn't make any difference as to the stick-to-itiveness of this diet. But man, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to wake up and be like, oh man, I slept like a baby. That's amazing. Or hey, I can walk around and not come home drenched in sweat or just feeling miserable. So I'm fingers crossed. But even if luck goes all the wrong way, that's fine. It's just these 2 simple rules Well, two simple policies, rules, setting very hard rules. There are no exceptions. There are not cheat days. At some point, maybe we'll introduce some cheat days, but they will be very, very harshly monitored, because trying to make it the problem with anything with any sort of like plan is that if you leave yourself any wiggle room, then it allows a bad day to ruin you. If I say you can do whatever you want on Saturday, that means, like, I may have in mind when I'm thinking about this, that'll be within reason. I'll go and have a nice dinner with friends, and then it'll be fine. I'll be back on everything the next day. But no, that's an invitation to go, hey, everything is fine. Go nuts. We have not pre-planned anything. Your current self can make all sorts of decisions. See what happens. Trusting that you are going to be in a good place when that happens is not the way I want to do things. So anyway, that's what's up with my weight. I also wanted to, I've been talking for a long time. I apologize for that. I just want to talk briefly about kind of the business, because I've started to really think about my YouTubing as kind of more of a business, not in the like corporate-y sense, not in the it's making money sense, but just in the sense that now I have, like, I sit down, I'm like, all right, I've got to record these things. I have this production schedule. I have these things I need to edit. I set things up to transcode before I go to sleep. I set things to upload. It's really cool to kind of feel like you're working for yourself and see the results of just putting in a lot more effort. Now, I know I was negative about this on last Friday. For those of you who watched that video, it was kind of off schedule, and I was just feeling rambly. I was like, that's the video that's going up. And I know I was frustrated. It's occurred to me that, hey, two things. One, you can't expect immediate results from just doing a little bit better, right? That's not how anything works. You need to give, if you suddenly, even if you've decided that you're making something that's 200 times what you used to be, you shouldn't expect that sort of response right away. You're raising the cap of what the response from people can be, and that's fine. The second thing that I rambled on Friday, but I think again is wrong, is I talked about how frustrating it is to not have a sizable enough kind of statistical base to go, oh, here's what I need to focus on, or here's what I need to do to make things better. I think that's a cop-out too, as much as I hate to admit it, because there are absolutely things that I know I can improve upon. I just don't know that I have some skepticism as to whether it's like, oh, well, if I look at certain channels, like I don't have like artwork for some channels. I don't think that really matters, but it is something that I know I can do, and it is something that would make things a little bit better. I don't know if it had results, but hey, the fact is there are things that I know I can do to make things a little bit easier. The goal, I think, for the next few weeks, I've had kind of this pattern of focusing my efforts on one particular project and trying to amp it up a little bit each week. I think I'm going to stop that for now and really just focus on, hey, all right, let's try and I'm applying these same rules that I am for my diet with the YouTube stuff. It's, there are hard rules, and then any excess energy goes to reducing friction for following those rules. Make those rules as easy as possible to follow. I spent some time this last weekend doing some, on Twitch, doing some live coding, trying to build a tool that automatically uploads things to the right place. And lets me visualize, like, okay, here's the schedule of stuff that's going to go out, and I can see, oh, well, this is missing. I need to get this done. So I don't have to do so much kind of admin work of figuring out what's uploaded and what's not and what I need to do. But that's kind of what's going on in my life. Things are going well, and I'm excited. I'm excited to continue growing, to continue getting better. And I think it was wrong of me on Friday to sort of imply that it was a lack of, some lack of audience response that was preventing me from improving, because there are certainly ways that I can improve. I'm nervous still, certainly, that there are blind spots, that it's like, oh, wow, people just hate this one thing that I do, and if only I could see it, then I'd be able to fix it. Everyone's going to have blind spots, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that I should just not focus on improving the things that I can identify, even if I don't know if they're the big things. I don't know. So I'm going to focus on the stuff that I can fix. I am going to continue focusing on trying to improve everything across the board. Once I get the furniture and stuff delivered and start to get this place treated, I think I can start making some cooler stuff, both on the book review channel and on here as well, and maybe other places I don't really know. I'm going to work on making it easier to get stuff uploaded. I'm going to try and write a bit more. I think I need to set aside some time just for like writing ideas for videos, because I think that'll help me improve. I mean, there are all these steps that are ways to get better that I can identify now. So why don't I just put my effort in there? That's kind of the plan. And then, yeah, just really looking forward to shrinking before your eyes. It's a very long disappearing act. But yeah, I'd love to be like, hey, look, the sides of my face are gone. There's nothing there. We'll see what happens. But man, down more than I've ever been down. And soon we'll be surpassing the low weights of previous attempts. So stay tuned for more updates. And yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments. Do you prefer when I sit in the recording booth and just talk on the fancy mic? The audio is always going to be worse in here because I can't just have like a mic right up there in my face. It'll be a little bit better than it is right now. But do you know what do you, as far as these confessionals go, do you have a preference? I'd be interested to know. I may decide to ignore you, but yeah. And just let me know how your week is going. What's up? How are you? And I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Finally a weekend. Very exciting. Weekends are always exciting. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. Cheers.